All right, welcome back to a great episode. We got a good one today. But before we get started, thank you for joining us. If this is your first time checking us out, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Yes, make sure you do that on your screen. That way you can stay up to date with some of our latest content, quality content. Don't usually like to put out a lot of spam or any spam of that nature, but we usually like to put out quality information that you can use. And so, what better way to receive that by subscribing today? So, once you do that, you're going to get again the latest content updates. So, today we're going to be talking about digital detox as well as mental health. Okay. And sometimes we don't really think about how often we are on our phones or just even on the media, but that is something that I want us to really think about because more often than not, a lot of people are dealing with elevated stress levels, and sometimes it's hard to pinpoint or even realize that you're dealing with so much because you are on your phone, you're scrolling, you're trying to stay up to date with the latest trends, or even trying to see what is out there so that you do not have FOMO or the fear of missing out. And so many times, again, when you see one clip on social media, or you may see something in the news, and you feel like I have to just continue to scroll or just be on my phone often because otherwise I'm going to miss something. And I don't want to be the last person finding something out. So if you've ever had that feeling, I understand. Trust me. And there is research that goes into this. And I'm actually going to show you that briefly, at least some links, I would say, because it's a ton of links that do give different statistics on just digital detoxification. And this is actually a definition that to before I even understood it, there's actually a definition associated with digital detox, which is basically being or abstaining from whether it's social media or just from your phone or even computer for an extended period of time. And if you were to ask somebody who stay on their phone a lot, can you stay away from it? Most times people may say, probably a few seconds, and that is if I have to go to the bathroom. And even if I have to go to the bathroom, I may still use my phone. And so this is very interesting because even myself, I've seen where I've used my phone quite a bit, and I had to just say, you know what, let's put this down right now, and let's not use this for an extended period of time. But even I've noticed older individuals, older than myself, who use their phones very often. It's like they get a minute and they're glued to it. It's like a handheld gaming device. You just can't put it down until you get to the next level. And again, as I looked into this, because I'm always curious to know, is this an issue? And if it is, what are some of the symptoms or even the causes or the negative impacts of just being on your phone or just being around a computer or on the computer often? What are the negative impacts? And so I'm going to read some of these off to you. And this is from, at least the source is Digital Detox. So it says that at least 68% Snapchat users and about 50% of Facebook users visit their platforms multiple times per day. And you can probably even expand that to TikTok, uh, YouTube, what is another one? Twitter. You probably can even expand that to multiple platforms where you have at least over 50% of users who check their feed or their status updates, DMs, direct messages several times a day. And there was another study, and I'm trying to find it, but it actually showed that I'm not sure what the stat is, but I'm just going to ballpark it and say at least over 20% of users were on their phones at least 11, probably like I want to say, I'm not going to say 11 hours of the day because that means that you have to be up quite a bit, but at least over 5 hours a day where you're on social media. Now, again, that's just me ballparking. I want to make sure I find a resource. So don't, don't fact me on that because I'm unconfirming that at the moment. But that was something that I roughly saw. But this also shows that 60% of Facebook users try to make an effort to undergo a social media detoxification. So you do have people who are aware, like, hey, I need to just put this phone down. I need to stay off of social media. I need to find out something else because I got an issue. Okay, I got a problem, and at least some people realize that, hey, I got a problem and I need to get off. And another one showed that digital detox can actually help individuals with better controlling their sleep cycle. So let's get into it. So, again, we have some of this information, and again, let's see. So, I do want to share some with you, but it is a lot. But I can at least show you this document, and it's an extended document, but it is one where you can actually go online and you can check it out for yourself. But I do like to share this information with you because I want you to see that this is not me making up anything. But again, at least this way you can see it for yourself and we can go from there. So let's see. So yeah, so this is on time to log off. Just seeing them, not sure how credible a lot of their information is, but at least within some of their links, it does go back to some well-known sources. So I will say that is a good thing that there are links that do trace back to up-to-date links, because sometimes when I go to a lot of links, gives me that 404 message, which means it cannot be found, and that's not a good thing. But at least with this, there is evidence that shows a lot of this information, and you can actually check this out yourself as well. I think this website is called it's time to log off.com/detox facts. But anyway, as you can see, about three-fourths of families have committed to taking part in a digital detox. So over three-fourths, meaning over 75% of American families. Now, I'm not sure what this stat is based on, if this is based on all 50 states or if this is based on a certain area. But again, if this is based on, let's say, East Coast, West Coast, or just a sub group from each state, then it's not bad. It shows that there are a large number of families who have seen that this is an issue. But let's go further because again, this is a lot of information, at least on this page. And I'm telling you, once you go through some of this, you'll start to think about, man, I have been like on a scrolling rampage. I have just been glued to my phone or even my laptop, tablet, and I need some help, just like this research is saying. So let's get into it. It says almost half of 18 to 34-year olds said their social media feeds made them feel unattractive. Okay, check that out. Now, this is not me making up anything. This is what it was shown from a poll, or at least a survey, was that 18 to 34. Okay, so you have young, like very, very young adults, 18, just becoming an adult, to 34, where you could have already had kids, possibly, and says that their social media feeds made them feel unattractive. 2017, Instagram was rated the worst social media platform for its impact on mental health of young people. Gaming addiction is listed as a mental health condition, and this was in 2018 by the World Health Organization. I'm just kind of reading some random things. In 2016, a Pew Research Center poll found that one in five employees are distracted at work by social media. So that's about 20%. And damage to the brain, because this is interesting. It says neuroimaging research has shown that excessive screen time actually damages the brain. Okay. Now, again, that's not me making up anything. You see it just like I see it. Structural and functional changes have been found in the brain regions involving emotional processes, executive attention, decision making, and cognitive control. Now, this is important because as you think about this and just reflect on how much time have you spent screen time wise on your phone or even on a computer today. Just think about that time and go back 6 days, which would roughly be about a week, and think about how much time you spent per day. And if you say, well, I really don't know, your phone may have likely tracked that activity. At least I know, having an iPhone, it does track how much screen time you've accumulated for that day. As well as if you are not using your phone, it will also calculate the time that you're off the phone. So, depending on what phone you have, it could have already gathered that information. Possibly you may not have known that it existed, but that is something to look into. Going down to sleep, it says 47% of adults miss out on sleep due to internet usage. 47%. Now, again, I don't know what these stats are based off of. If it's, in a certain geographic location in the US, or if it is just different, from different areas. I don't know. Obviously, we can go to this link. I know some of these links trace back to the UK. So a lot of it is not based on the US alone. A lot of it can be mixed data, but it still is valid because what can occur in another country could likely be a lot more in the US. So that is something to keep in mind, that while this would show in the UK, um, I can guarantee you that it likely would not be too significant of a drop in the US. It probably would be more in the US. And kind of just giving some more information, because again, you can actually take a look at this. It's some good information, and I know a lot of it does trace back to some sources. But it says that at least 26% of adults have sent text or instant messages to friends or family while in the same room. Look at that. 26% of adults. So that's over, yeah, that's about over a quarter of adults have sent messages to people in the same room. Now think about that. Have you done that? And how often do you do that? And so, again, this is just some information I wanted to share with you. Like I said, you can actually, let me see if I can share this link. So yeah, so I'm gonna try to see if I can actually share this link to article, and that way you can check it out. Because again, I want you to really see this information. It could help somebody. Because and what I'm going to do, we're going to get into why is this really important, because pretty much the that is pretty much the thing about this is that okay, so cool. So we posted. So okay. So anyway, so we kind of see the information, and again, it is a lot more links that we can check out. But when it comes to doing a digital detox, if you find yourself again being on the phone a lot, let's say to you, a lot may be more than an hour, or you could be on your phone for minutes at a time. So you start off by saying, you know what, I'm just going to do this, one task, 5 minutes. 5 minutes ends up becoming 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you say, well, you know what? I'm not doing too much. So let me just continue doing what I'm doing on my phone. And after that 15 minutes elapses, now 30 minutes. So you have pretty much within a time span, 45 minutes. And let me not dare you to say, you know what, let me take a quick break, maybe a bio or a bathroom break. And I may have my phone with me, I may not, but if I don't, then we definitely got to catch up for that time missed. And so when you really think about it, being on your phone a lot and not realizing like what am I missing out? Because a lot of times, from at least what I found, or at least what we saw, when you're on your phone a lot, there are some issues that can occur. Stress, and most people don't realize it. It's not like when you're on your phone, it's like this huge rush of stress that comes over you. It's over time because one of the factors that can contribute to stress, and this is a common issue, is the comparison a thing. And what I mean by that is, a person may see something on social media, or it could be a news article. And I see this a lot, especially if I am on, if I'm just gradually passing through CNBC just to check, the economy and things of that nature. But I've seen more and more often articles where it signifies X X adult. And what I mean by X is, let's say, a 20-year-old adult, 18 years old, 25, 27, whatever the case is, has a multi-million dollar business and they're doing well, or has a is making six figures with only $100. I'm just making up these headlines, but from the notion you get that if anybody, and let's say that you are looking for a job position, or you really don't like your job, or let's say that you have goals and you weren't meeting those goals and you just felt just stressed. Imagine reading that headline. You don't even know this person, but you already just have a hate or just some type of envy. You're like, I really don't care about this person. Like, I really don't care because I am not where I want to be. Why should I really care about them? And what happens is some people actually they compare themselves to that person. So they feel like, well, if this person can do it, why am I not rich? Why am I not wealthy? Why am I in the situation that I am in? And not realizing that just looking at that piece of information is causing some stress. So you can imagine if you see that multiple times, let's say you may not see it in the same day, but you could see it over the course of some months or even weeks. And just think about it. If you continue to just be infuriated by seeing similar headlines, or even being on social media where you see someone that is doing a lot better, or you want to have something that someone else's has, or you feel like, I'm a good person, why am I not getting what I want to get? Why is it so hard for me? But it seems like they over here just playing around and they are just having the time of their lives. And I'm over here working hard. Why? And it's that comparison that can cause stress. Now, again, that is one of the many factors when you think about a digital detox, being on your phone a lot, is that you see so much, you take in so much, and not realizing that it causes stress. It can be a number of things that you see, whether it is seeing people who are doing well, whether it is seeing a lot of violent acts that can also contribute to stress, as well as anxiety, depression, overthinking. Sometimes you just feel like, why are things just so bad? Sex, yes, a lot of that. Power, again, going back to comparison. You want to be in this position and you see someone else doing well, but it's hard for you to really come to terms with, how are they doing well and I am over here struggling. And I feel like I've been struggling for 10 years and they are younger than me. Actually, they are barely an adult making more than I am making. I'm upset. Now, again, many other areas that we can go into, but those are some of the ones. If you never thought about, they do occur. They occur more often than most people will admit. And I can tell you this from just even experience and experience just hearing about other people and just seeing it. So I can tell you that, when we think about digital detox, obviously it's a lot more information when it comes down to it. One of the things that we saw was that it can deprive you of sleep, which is very important. A lot of people will say that, especially for people who have made, certain amount of money or have, a certain, I guess, clout or popularity, they would tell you sleep is for chumps. Don't know wimp sleep. And I'm here to tell you that, you know, real people sleep, because at the end of the day, if you do not sleep, okay, for an extended period of time, you're pretty much shortening your lifespan. And you may say, well, I don't believe that. Well, you don't have to believe it, okay? Your body can only go so long before you get tired. And even if you are awake, how are you really feeling emotionally, mentally? Are you really feeling good, or are you feeling groggy? Are you feeling angry because you're trying to keep up with an idea that your body really did not agree to? You just agreed to because you wanted to. But your body is saying, let's get some rest, please. Stop trying to front. Okay. And it's important not to buy into a lot of those, notions or ideas that you see on social media, because again, how you know where the validity of that comes from? You really have to understand, where are people getting their information. It was also shown, not sure where I saw this, but I know that it is true because I've seen it a lot. And but it is where a lot of people, at least on TikTok, a lot of younger viewers, or just um, individuals who are under the ages of 30 or at least 28, but most of them find themselves getting, and it could be people over that age, but find themselves getting advice from social media, but not really fact checking it, but just taking it at the face value, not really thinking like, oh, okay, I need to do some more research on this before just taking this suggestion and making a life decision about it that could really affect my life. And so it's important that when it comes down to everything that you see on the media, get around some people, okay? Make sure that you can put down your phone, okay? This is just an example phone, not my phone, but make sure you can put down this phone, okay? Go for a walk in the park, or even if you're at home, just sit, read a book, read an article, something, even talk, play a board game with, family. And it's a lot of things that people may say, well, that sounds boring. Well, it may be boring, but at the end of the day, one of the things that I also saw, and it was, telling on myself, but it was actually on social media, but it was this video that showed these high school kids. And one thing that it showed was that they had their phones taken from them at the beginning of the year. Some of you may have seen it, but in the video, one thing that it highlighted was that the students mentioned that they were upset initially when their phones were taken, because they felt like, they were used to having their phones, and when it was taken away from them, they were upset because it's like, we can't do anything. But then they realized that over the course of the school year, they were able to bond more. I think in some of the clips they showed that they were actually playing board games. They were actually having conversations with each other. And I'm not sure if it was at the end of the year, but they actually interviewed just a random selection of students. And the students, each of them mentioned that they were very grateful for the school for taking away their phones, because they felt more connected to each other. Com- in comparison, if they had their phones, they likely wouldn't have, because one of the students even mentioned that there was complete silence in the lunchroom when everyone had their phones, because that's how, the phone, or just even the impact of digital media can have on a person. It can pretty much silence you. from really being aware of what's going on in the environment, so much to where, I mean, so much can just happen and you not be aware of it because your phone pretty much has your attention. And I don't want you to ever get to that position. I don't ever want to get to that position where I'm looking at something and it's like you are essentially hypnotized. That is not good. So, again, there are benefits when it comes to, putting down your phone, not being glued to the media, really taking breaks. Your brain needs a break. Your brain can take in a lot, but again, as I like to say, if you do so much on your body, or if you do so much, you have to think, what is the opportunity cost? What am I exchanging in return for what I think I'm getting? And is it really beneficial for my body long term? Okay. So, again, it is a lot more when it comes to digital media. Hopefully, from the article that I share with you, the sub articles within that article can give you a better perspective on just the different statistics and impacts that, you know, just being immersed in digital can do to your body, but being able to just step away from it after a certain time, that can really free you up and just kind of give your brain some freedom to breathe. So hopefully if you enjoy this content, make sure that you send us a like, make sure that you drop a comment, and as well as make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you have not. And feel free to share with someone because, again, as it relates to just digital AI and so much going on, more and more people will fall victim to just being immersed on their phone. But it is, to me, I found, at least over the past couple of years, when I can take a break from the phone or just digital media, I feel like I'm able to really be more involved in, what people are doing, as well as just reading, doing some things that can help me to grow as a person. So there again are benefits. And if you're interested in those, feel free to reach out to me because there is a lot, as well as in the article I shared, has a lot of links for you. So I hope that you enjoy those. Until next time, make sure again you hit that like and subscribe button. If again, or at least I'll say this for the first time, if you do have health goals, make sure that you navigate to our website, schedule your consultation with me, and that way we can start working on your health goals. Listen, working with some clients, and they've already mentioned how excited, or even, how they are already seeing some progress. And so if you realize that you need some help when it comes to your health goals, make sure you navigate to our website at robody.org. Okay. Make sure you go there, fill out the link, the forms that you'll see from the email prompts. We'll get you set up, and just know that you'll be in good hands. We look forward to working with you, helping you exceed your goals. And so until next time, I will talk with you later.